Today's topic is puppies and dogs in general, doesn't matter the age, that chew and destroy things like a shark or a beaver. I own one such dog. If he's unsupervised for, more than 15-30 minutes, he often will fall victim to, just distractions and get into things. The thing that we really worry about when that happens is if they ingest something, then you've got to take them to the vet and you need an expensive surgery. And that is just not something that you want to be dealing with, because you put your dog's life at risk if you're going under sedation at any time. And I've had dogs that come in for training and they've had multiple surgeries, and then it just gets to a point where it's like, look, you either have to stop this behavior or it's going to kill you. Okay. So the best thing always, when your dog cannot be trusted, if you leave the room, if you go upstairs to put a little wash in, or you run to the kitchen to do some cooking or something and you leave your dog unattended and they are destroying things, you need to crate them when you're not supervising them. Okay, they always need to be under supervision or in the same room as you, and you really do need to be paying attention to what they are doing. If your dog can't handle that, they don't have the maturity or the training, or you're not reinforcing the training, then crate your dog or put them in an area like a little X pen where they cannot get into trouble. Okay. And then the other thing that I'm going to tell you to do is that you need to set your dog up. You need to set them up because you want to progress your dog to get to a point where, hey, I can leave you alone for a little bit and you're not going to destroy things. And the only way that you can do that is to start introducing them to the temptation, but under the watchful eye of, you are supervising them. Best way I like to do it is set the dog up in a way that they don't really think I'm paying attention. So maybe I'm like reading a book, but I have my eye on them, or I'm listening, I'm right in the same room as them. And I'm waiting for them to make a mistake. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to correct them before they start to chew. So if your dog is like destroying the bedding that they're laying on or something, then you need to, it's not about interrupting them. It's not about saying, don't do that. That's not going to have a long-term effect. You actually have to correct them. So one really good tool to use is an e-collar. Where you can communicate without a leash. That's the best way to do it, because then you're not having to, play your hand by reaching for the leash and giving them a leash pop when they go to chew something. Okay. And then if they think you're not watching, you give them a little zap and they feel that little tingle. And I'll talk about the e-collar in a minute, because some of you are like, oh, a shock collar. I knew she was going to be talking about shock collars and they hurt dogs and they're bad and they, make dogs fearful and all this nonsense. It's not like that at all. But an e-collar, a little tap on the remote, they feel a little stimulation and they're like, I better not do this. And then they stop. Okay. And that's how you can progress your dog to getting to a point where you can start to leave them out more, and you still need to supervise them to make sure that they are reliable and consistently not destroying property. Now back to the e-collar for just a moment. First and foremost, I train dogs on e-collars, so they are trained properly at extremely low levels. Okay, some people will just go to Amazon, buy a shock collar, put it on their dog, and they just wail on the dog. Okay, and that is absolutely not how you're supposed to train it. That will make your dog fearful. It will backfire on you, and then you will need a trainer to rehab your dog. But if you train the e-collar properly, we are correcting a dog. When I say a correction, we're using a very low, mild level on the e-collar. And it's more like a tap on the shoulder, and they feel that and they're like, oh, yeah, wait, I know. And I'm not even using a word. I'm just using stimulation when they're about to do something, and it interrupts their mindset, and they're like, oh yeah, I know that sensation, and I'm going to stop doing what I'm doing. I'm just going to go back to just chilling out on my bed. Okay. And then the other thing about an e-collar is that I use one made by e-collar Technologies. I will put the information below. You can go through my website and I talk about it, or my YouTube channel. I talk about how to introduce it to your dog properly and the levels that we're using. But the e-collar Mini Educator is the one that I like. and it's a TENS unit on the collar. So that stimulation, it's a TENS unit. So it stimulates the muscles. It's a tingle. It's not a shock. There are 100 levels on the e-collar. We're introducing it at level 1. Okay, dogs usually feel between levels 1 and 3-ish, very low. Humans can't feel it. Dogs are a little more sensitive to it. And then as they get trained on it and we introduce distractions to them where their mindset gets a little more distracted, then we start to dial up and increase those levels so the dog understands what those levels mean, and we can get their attention off of a bouncing ball or a bicycle going by or something that is distracting to them. So it is through training that we introduce the e-collar and that we use it, and that is an excellent way for you to progress your dog, and it allows them to be in your household unsupervised and just going with the flow and not destroying things. I hope this video helps you. If you have questions, post them in the comments and I will answer them. Thank you.